Principles of management are basically guidelines that guide a manager during any problematic situation inside the organization. Decentralization means the decision-making authority is delegated down the scalar chain pertaining to their departments. You conduct motion study to come out with three kinds of motions, that is, motions which are productive, motions which are incidental, motions which are unproductive. Hello everyone, this is Purna Chandra, Faculty, Department of Commerce and Management, Vidhyaashram, the Temple of Excellence. So we are dealing with the subject Management Principles and Practice for first semester B.Ba. We are done with the syllabus and today we will be discussing the model question paper as per the NEP scheme. So we will be discussing the question paper pattern as well as the important 15 marks, 10 marks and 2 marks question which you can expect in your examination. So we will start. So this is the pattern of the question paper. So in total you will be writing the subject for 60 marks. So that is 60 marks. So this is the bifurcation. So 2 marks questions, 7 questions will be asked, out of which you will have to answer any 5. So the total marks in the first part A is 10 marks. So now you come to part B. So here 10 marks, 4 questions will be asked of 10 marks each. So among those 4, you will have to answer any 2. So the questions to be answered is 2. So the total marks in your part B is 20 marks. So in part C, again 15 marks, 4 questions will be asked. So 15 marks, 4 questions will be asked and you have to select any 2 and answer 2. And there you get total 30 marks. So 30, 20, 10. So it is 60 marks. So this is the pattern of the question paper. So next we will see what are the important questions you can expect in this question paper. So we will go for part C. First we will discuss the important 15 marks question. So the first question which you can expect in 15 marks is: explain the contribution of Henry Fayol to management. So it is a very important question which you can expect. So here, how do you write this for 15 marks? Contribution of Henry Fayol to management. So here you write about Fayolism. Who is Henry Fayol? Why he insisted for principles of management? You write the introduction. Then you give the definition of principles of management. That is, principles of management are basically guidelines that guide a manager during any problematic situation inside the organization. So you give the meaning or definition of principles of management and then you state and explain all the 14 principles of management one by one. Division of work, that is, similar related work has to be divided into different departments. That is the meaning. Next, authority and responsibility. What is the authority of the middle level managers? What is the responsibility of the employees working under them? That is authority and responsibility. Then discipline. Whether the employees are working in discipline, what are the rules and regulations that has been put forward to ensure discipline? Then unity of command, that is, they have to receive command from only one superior. And also unity of direction, that is, one plan once implemented cannot be altered. So one person has to give the directions to the employees. Next, subordination of individual interest to general interest. That is, each one's individual interest is different in the organization. Like people working in finance department, their interest is doing finance related job. People working in production department, their interest is doing production related job. That is their individual interest. Now, what is general interest? General interest is the success of the organization. So you are channelizing these individual interest into general interest so that work goes on well. So next, fair remuneration, that is giving good salary to the employees. Next, centralization means all the decision taking authority lies with the top management. And decentralization means the decision making authority is delegated down the scalar chain pertaining to their departments. Next, scalar chain, that is the downward flow of authority from top level to middle level, from middle level to supervisory level. That is scalar chain. Then order, that is everything should be placed in order. There should be sequence has to be followed in the production process. That is order. Then equity, that is there should not be any kind of partiality or biased behavior by the managers, and all the subordinates and employees have to be treated equally. Then stability of tenure of personnel, that is the tenure of personnel means there should not be any kind of labor turnover. We should ensure that the personnel means employees work in your organization for a longer period of time. So that can be achieved by giving them good working condition. That is stability of tenure of personnel. Initiative, that is the employees should be given initiative or freedom to come out with opinions, their own ideas regarding productivity. That is initiative. Then esprit de corps is nothing but your teamwork. Everybody inside the organization, they should consider themselves as a team, and there should be unity in diversity. So all these 14 principles, you have to explain 3-4 lines and you can get 15 marks. So this is regarding your first question. So next we go for the second question, that is explain the contribution of F.W. Taylor to management. So this is also an important question which you can expect. So here first you give introduction to F.W. Taylor, then you give one meaning of what is principles of management, then you come out with these 4 scientific principles first. So you put the heading as scientific principles of F.W. Taylor. You may explain this like I have given in the notes. So what is science, not rule of thumb? That is you have to replace the traditional method of working with modern method by applying science, that is making use of machines so that the work is done quick, fast and easy. That is science, not rule of thumb. Harmony, not discord means there should be harmony between the managers and the employees or workers. When there is harmony, things will go on well and efficiency will be achieved. Next, cooperation, not individualism, that is there should be cooperation between the managers and the employees. Managers should give prominence to the employees and give them freedom to speak up or give their own suggestions to the organization. That is, there should be cooperation between managers and employees. Development of every person to his efficiency and potential or prosperity also you can consider. This is when you are selecting people to work in your organization, you should select them in such a way that they are scientifically selected. That is, they should be placed in the department in which they are capable of performing well. Like a person who is good in finance should be kept in the finance department. A person who is good in the production activities should be placed in the production department. So these are the 4 principles of F.W. Taylor. After you explain this, next you go for work study of F.W. Taylor. You explain what is time study. Time study means you want to complete the task within a speculated period of time. So you will set one standard time by taking readings, and you will ensure that the employees in the organization will finish the work within that standard time. That is time study. Motion study is you conduct motion study to come out with 3 kinds of motions. That is motions which are productive, motions which are incidental, motions which are unproductive. So now what you do, you eliminate what is unproductive motions, you minimize incidental motions and you keep only productive motions. That is the meaning. Fatigue study means you want to analyze the stress level of people inside the organization, whether they are really stressed out, whether they need a break. So what happens here is, when you conduct fatigue study, you get to know that after how many hours. For example, after 2 hours, we'll give half an hour break for tea. Then again after 1 hour, we'll give 1 hour break for lunch. This is called fatigue study. Then method study. So method study is nothing but to do a task. There will be lot of methods in which you can achieve those tasks. So you have to select one method that is suitable for you. So when you do the method study, you get to know different methods, and after comparison you can select the best method for your organization. That is method study. So after you state and explain this, you write techniques of scientific management and functional foremanship of Taylor. So functional foremanship heading, you should write it as techniques of scientific management. So here F.W. Taylor, he wanted the work to be supervised by specialists or foremen, 8 special foremen, 4 under planning and 4 under production. So we will understand 4 under planning, that is instruction card clerk. So his duty is to prepare the instructions for the workers. He comes out with a card and he notes the instructions to be followed by the workers. Next, route clerk. So he specifies the route of the process. So what is the process 1, what is process 2? So there should be a sequence. So he specifies the order or sequence, that is route clerk. Time and cost clerk. So they mainly ensure that within what speculated period of time the work has to be completed and in what cost the work has to be completed, that is time and cost clerk. Next, disciplinarian. So he mainly ensures the discipline inside the organization or workplace. For example, following rules and regulations, being on time, not using mobile phones during work, etc. That is disciplinarian. These are under planning. 4 under production are speed boss. So the duty of the speed boss is to ensure that work is completed within the standard time. Gang boss. So the main work of the gang boss is to keep all the tools and machineries ready before work. And your repair boss. So repair boss is, suppose any machinery breaks down, he has to repair it or replace it. That is repair boss. Next, inspector. So inspector, after the product is produced, he comes and he inspects whether the quality is good or not. So this is how you write your F.W. Taylor's contribution. First you write the 4 principles, then you write your work study, that is time study, motion study, fatigue study and method study, and then you write the techniques, that is functional foremanship. So you get 15 marks. So next we go for the next question, explain the various types of plans. So this can also be asked for 15 marks. So we will understand how you write this. So first you write what is the definition of planning and you state the person who has given the definition. Then you explain what is single use plan as it is there in the notes. Then what is recurring plan. Then all these things you are familiar. How it is explained in the notes, you explain. What is objective with example, policy with example, procedure, rule, strategy, program, method, budget, and also new inclusion, you can write project also. So explain everything with one example and it should cover 3 sides of your answer booklet for 15 marks. This is regarding this question. So next question, explain the various types of communication barriers and how to overcome them. So this is from the 4th unit. So we will understand how to write this. So the different barriers, first you write the meaning of communication, then you write the meaning of communication barriers, then you state all these 7 different kinds of barriers and you have to write how to overcome them. So first you explain what is physical barriers, that is physical barriers mainly arise because of some defect in the technology or there is some distance. So after you explain, you write down how you can overcome this physical barriers, like how it is there in the notes which I have provided. Similarly, cultural barriers, you explain what is cultural barriers and you explain how you can overcome them. Then likewise the same holds good for language barriers, emotional barriers, gender barriers, organizational barriers and perceptual barriers. Here first you explain what is physical barriers, there itself below that as I have given in the notes you explain how to overcome them and you get 15 marks. So next we go for 10 mark question. So now 15 marks is over, we go for 10 mark questions. So important 10 mark questions. Explain the process of management or functions of management. So process of management as well as functions of management is the same. We will understand how to write this. So these are the 5 things which you will be explaining. Before that, before you write this, you give the meaning of management, you give one definition and the person who has stated the definition and then you explain one by one. So planning, what is actually planning? It is a bridge between where you are and where you want to be. So you want to achieve something, you want to make 1 crore profit. So to achieve that you plan certain things. So as I have given the notes, you explain. Then after planning comes organizing. Once the plan is ready, you have to make different departments inside the organization like finance, production, marketing, sales, etc. So you organize things. You have to go for human resource as well as you have to go for material resource. You have to organize for them. That is organizing. Next, staffing. Staffing means now departments are ready. You want people to work inside the departments. So you go for staffing. That is selecting the right person for the right job inside the organization. So this is staffing. It includes recruitment, selection, placement, training and development, performance appraisal, etc. Directing. So once people are inside, you need to lead them, you need to motivate them, you need to influence them. So you have to direct them to do certain tasks and motivate them so that they perform well. That is directing. Next, controlling. Controlling means this is the last function of management. Without controlling, everything is a waste. So in controlling, you should make sure what directions that has been given is followed by the workers. So what you do? You set one standard level of performance, and after you set the standard, you ask them to work and you compare the actual performance with the standard. If it is the same, there is no problem. If there is any kind of deviation, they are not meeting the standard level of performance, then what you do is you rectify them, you take corrective measures. So these are the 5 things. For 10 marks, you can expect this question. For 10 marks, you have to write 2 sides of your answer booklet, or more than that also you can write. So this is the meaning. So here you can get 10 marks regarding this question. So next, differentiate between administration and management. This is also an important question which you can expect for 10 marks. So here you write the definition of management, then you write the definition of administration, and then as I've given in the notes, 10 differences you differentiate, and you have to write the basis column also. So you write the basis column, administration and your management. So you differentiate. For each difference you will get 1 mark. Like administration is coming out with policies, management is implementing the policy, administration requires only managerial abilities, whereas your management requires technical abilities. Like that, 10 different differences I have given in the notes. The same thing you have to write. So you can get 10 marks here. So next, explain the various steps in planning process. So this is also an important 10 mark question which you can expect. So here same thing, what is there in the notes you can write, like being aware of opportunity, setting objectives or goals, considering planning premises, identifying alternatives, comparing alternatives, choosing an alternative, formulating supporting plans, numbering plans by making budget. The same thing what is in the notes you can write. And one more thing, there is one more, the same planning steps is there, you can write that also. It doesn't matter, but you have to explain this. Only stating will get you only half the marks. If you explain it only, you are going to get 10 marks. So when you are writing this, first you write one definition of planning, then who gave that definition, and then you carry forward with the explanation. This is regarding this question. So next, explain the importance and limitations of planning. So this is also an important 10 mark question which you can expect. So how do you write this? First you give the definition of planning, you give the person who has coined the definition, and then first you write the importance. Increases efficiency by optimum utilization of resources. The same meaning which I have given in the notes you write. Then reduce business related risk and facilitates proper coordination, how it synchronizes between different departments, aids in organizing, giving right direction, keeps good control, helps to achieve objectives, how it motivates the employees, encourages creativity and innovation, helps in decision making. So all these points you have to explain it along with stating. If you just state all these points, you will get only half the marks. So like I have given in the notes, you explain it. So this is regarding importance of planning. Then there is something called limitations of planning. Rigidity, misdirected planning, time consuming, probability in planning, and false sense of security. So how planning has some disadvantages. The same explanation which I have given the notes, you explain. So this is regarding your question, that is importance and limitations of planning. Next question is explain the different steps in decision making process. So this is from your second unit. So there are 4 different steps which you have to write. Investigate the situation, you write, and 4-5 lines you explain. Then develop the alternatives, 4-5 lines you explain, evaluate the alternatives and select the best one also, similarly you explain, implement and monitor the decision. And before you write the answer, you give the definition of what is decision making and then you explain the steps. So this you can write for 10 marks. So each point 4-5 lines you explain. So next, explain the Maslow's need hierarchy theory. This is also an important need hierarchy theory which you can expect for 10 marks. So here there is a pyramid. So you have to draw the pyramid, and after drawing the pyramid, all these needs, physiological needs, safety needs, social needs, esteem needs and self-actualization has to be explained one by one, like I have given the explanation in the notes. This is Maslow's need hierarchy theory. So next we go for explain the McGregor's X and Y theory. You can expect this for 10 marks. So we will understand. So theory X, employees are not motivated. Theory Y, employees are happy and self-motivated. So here there is two theories that has been assumed. So like the explanation I have given in the notes, you explain, first you explain theory X, why employees are not motivated, why there is an intervention of the management that is required, and next you explain what is theory Y, why there is no necessity for intervention of the management. So there you get 10 marks. So next, explain Hertzberg's two-factor theory. This question is also for 10 marks which you can expect. So here there is two factors, that is motivation factors and hygiene factors. So first you write job satisfaction or motivator factors. There are 5 to 6 factors. You explain one by one like I have given in the notes. And job dissatisfaction or hygiene factors. So why people are not satisfied with the job, why there is job dissatisfaction. So there are 5-6 factors, you explain them one by one. So this is regarding your job satisfaction and dissatisfaction. So next we go for explain the different leadership styles. So what are the different kinds of leadership styles? So in your syllabus there are mainly 5. So autocratic leader is a person who is like a dictator. Whatever he tells, the other members have to follow. The same explanation what I have given in the notes you follow for this. Then democratic or participative leadership means he gives chance to the other members of the team or group to participate in the decision making. So that is democratic or participative. Laissez-faire leadership style. What does this mean? Here the leader will not involve much. He will just tell what has to be done and the other members carry on with the work. He only intervenes when things go wrong. That is, when the other members are not able to meet the set standards, he will interfere. This is laissez-faire leadership. Transition leadership is just for a temporary period of time. So he is not a leader just for temporary period. He is appointed in terms of emergency. Then charismatic leadership is a person who is very charismatic, means he is like a role model. He is a set an example. The way he speaks, the way he motivates, influence other people. So people consider him as a role model and they follow him as a leader. That is charismatic leadership. So all these things, before you are writing, you write the definition of leadership. Then one by one you explain like I have given in the notes. This is the meaning of 10 marks. So now we go for 2 marks. We will understand what are the different 2 marks which we can expect. That is, what is MBO, management by objective. So like the definition which I have given in the notes, that is, you set one objective. To achieve that objective, you manage. That is MBO. Then MBE, management by exception. That is, you set one objective and you are managing activities. So now you don't involve much. You will allow the workers or subordinates or employees to work on their own. But when things go wrong, you interfere. That is management by exception. That is, if things are going well, you will not interfere. Only when they are not able to meet the standard or level of performance, you interfere. Then what is delegation of authority? That is how authority is delegated to middle level managers. Basically what it is. So you write what is delegation of authority. What is span of control? Span of control basically means the maximum number of subordinates or employees which a single manager can effectively manage. That is span of control. There are 2 kinds, that is narrow span of control and wide span of control. You can write that also. Then what is staffing? It is selecting the right person to work at the right time, at the right place inside the organization. The definition is there in the notes. What is communication? That is the exchange of ideas, facts or opinions between two or more people, or what definition it is there in the notes, you can write for 2 marks. What is leadership? So leadership means he is a person who influences, motivates other members to follow his words to achieve a particular goal or aim. So whatever definition is there in the notes or your own ideas, you can write. So next, what is centralization? Centralization is nothing but the decision making authority lies only with the top level management. Then what is decentralization means? The decision making authority is delegated down the scalar chain. So next, what is coordination means? It is nothing but how you synchronize the activities of different departments. So inside the organization like finance, production, marketing, how you coordinate with them or how you synchronize the activities, that is the meaning. What is controlling means? How you control, setting standards, comparing standard with actual. If there is any deviation, you take corrective measures, that is controlling. Managerial ethics means the moral values which a manager has to follow in business, that is managerial ethics. Business social responsibility is nothing but what charity you are doing to the society, how you are helping the poor, in what ways you can help the poor by sponsoring education or healthcare to poor people on behalf of your company, that is business social responsibility. What is green management? So green management basically means what eco-friendly steps you have opted for to reduce environmental pollution on behalf of your company. That is, whether your company is causing zero environmental pollutions like soil, water or air. So what measures you have taken, that is green management. How you want to preserve and conserve the environment and also do the business, that is green management. So these are the different 2-mark questions which you can expect. So all these are covered in your notes. So please refer the notes and also your videos so that you can do well. So I hope with all these questions you will be able to answer for 60 marks. Thank you.